I think last week I talked about how I'm on the board of directors for a new nonprofit called Rescue Residents, and I think the next day, um, Papa Bear sent me and the other board member like a text, and he was bidding on. He was trying to see how it works to get to bid on a vehicle from a certain website for an ambulance because it's a place that has an auction site for ambulances, and so he bid in like I think like a little over like $5,000 just to see how like the alerts worked and like how all these other things worked in the process. He definitely didn't think that he was going to win the bid on this ambulance. He ends up winning the bid. So we're like, okay, what the fuck? Like, first of all, yeah, okay, we got the bid, so we went into like kind of scramble mode. Like, hey, we need to like raise some money for this, and where is it? It's in Ohio, which is lucky because that's where Matt from Pre-Recorded Live lives, and so does Becky and Joe. And so immediately, I hit up while Papa Bear's trying to figure out like setting up like donation sites and shit. I'm talking to Matt, like, hey man, I need some help. Like, we're gonna get this ambulance. How far is it from you? It's like 2 hours away from him. And so he graciously offered his help in picking up the ambulance because it runs, which is amazing, and then putting it in a safe place for a couple of weeks or months, however long it takes me and Papa Bear to get out there. Probably be a couple months because we want to get it taken to a mechanic to get some.
Oh, yeah.
We want to make sure they can actually drive all the way back from Ohio to Yucca Valley, which is like Death Valley in California. So it's really far away where we have to drive. So it's over, I think it's probably like around 3,000 miles, maybe more. So we want to make sure that they can make that trip. Yeah, you can look it up if you want. I'm pretty sure it's around 3,000 miles. So yeah, so that happened, and this is all in the middle of. So we already started the process. Well, Papa Bear, he started the process of setting up the company as like a 5013C, which is basically a nonprofit, so people can donate to us and write off their donations to our company. But that's still all going through LegalZoom and the IRS. So right now we're pending for 5013C status, but it's guaranteed through LegalZoom, so it shouldn't take too long to get through that. So if anybody donates now, at the end of the year, we will find all the people that donated to us and then send out the actual 5013C information so that they can make it tax deductible if that's a concern for you. Because I know some people, when you donate, you want to make sure you can write it off on your taxes, because that definitely helps. So yeah, we started this thing and we kind of hit the ground running, even though we didn't really want to do that, and now we're Papa Bear has us involved with like a whole bunch of homeless organizations where he lives, to get on like various committees to like see how all these things are involved, to like how we can get funding. I know we have meetings for a person that has to do with grants early next month. We have a whole bunch of other things that we have to do, and we're setting it all up. And we luckily, over the past week, we've raised pretty much enough money to cover the basic ambulance, but we also need to cover however much it'll cost to possibly repair it, to get a mechanic to look at it, at least get it, a tune-up, stuff like that. So I will put in the description of this podcast the information of Rescue Residents. If you didn't listen to the last podcast, Rescue Residents is a nonprofit that is set up to specifically help out homeless veterans find a home. So our thing is to identify homeless veterans and then get them into an RV, onto a RV park. And we're going to have a central location first in Yucca Valley, which we're still setting up. And we're going to retrofit old ambulances for these veterans. And then they will have their central location will be at an RV park somewhere around the country. And that'll give them the physical address. So if they need to get a job, one of the hardest things for people to do to get a job, if you're homeless, is actually having a physical address. So that's one of the things that we identified first to help veterans. And one of the other things we identified is that if you happen to have a skill set in a place where you live that doesn't pay you enough money to make a living wage, then what do? And you don't have any money and you have no way to get somewhere else. Well, the RV will help. So we're going to help them give them an RV, and then if they have a skill set that won't give them a living wage where they live, then we will find a job for them in another region, and then set them up in an RV park in that region. So that way they can use their skill set somewhere else where they can actually thrive. So that's the basic premise of what we're trying to do with Rescue Residents.
So I found out this the hard way about if you don't have a physical address, it's actually hard to get a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Like a bank account. It was super hard to get a bank account if you do not have a physical address. Getting a job, like, depending on the job, sometimes they'll be like, hey, if you have a P.O. box, we'll use that as your address. Some places won't accept that.
Yeah.
They're like, you need like a residential address. So like that's actually something I had to struggle with like years ago. But as far as financial institutions, it's different now because now you can use stuff like Venmo, Cash App. They can basically be like a bank account for you because you can just put money on there and then like they'll send you a card and you can use it like a Visa or debit card pretty much. So it's a little easier to kind of manage money once they start getting money in, with the job or whatnot. But hopefully, I mean, and it's kind of easy to get a cell phone now. Like you can either get like a Cricket or whatever, and there's like programs. Yeah, but there's also programs that give out free phones. Yeah. I know there's one near us. They like give phones to the homeless. Like they just donate them and they show them how to like link up. They call it. Some people call it the Obama phone, but it's usually like phones for like the elderly. But I guess if you're homeless, you can get on the same program. So there's a lot of resources out there.
But then also with like PO boxes, like a lot of the time, so these post office will be like packed, so it's hard to get a PO box. Like it's it's very hard to get PO box.
And I guess they changed their payment system because you used to pay once a month, and I guess they don't do that anymore, or something. They do some weird like tiers or something now. So I don't know. I haven't had a PO box in a while.
So either way, I mean, having a physical address at a place will definitely fix that.
A lot of stuff.
So that was like I think it was like we had like two main issues that we had to like help solve these things, and I think that was number one. So I have high hopes for this nonprofit. We're learning a lot. I'm already doing a bunch of research, and I think Papa Bear has been going 100 miles per hour, doing a whole bunch of stuff, making a whole bunch of phone calls. There's a whole bunch of emails and just communications back and forth with various organizations. And we're trying to identify like where we can fit in with all these various organizations. Because to be honest, I think, me and Papa Bear, we had a podcast. It actually wasn't released because I messed up and my hard drive got full. But we had a really good conversation with somebody that lives in San Francisco about homelessness. And
if it's like the Mecca.
Yeah, and it's like
seems like
you drive around anywhere in the Bay Area and you see all of these like homeless people everywhere, and it's just like, and then you look up, like I started looking up like how much budget do they have for the homeless situation, and it's a lot of money, and all these things that they're trying to do, like they're ineffective, like wholly ineffective, because the homeless problem, at least where we are in the Bay Area especially, it's gotten worse over like the past 10 years. It's gotten exponentially worse in the past 10 years. And so these programs are not helping. They're getting more money, but nobody's really helping them. And I think one of the main things that we agreed on is housing first. And it's an initiative to where you have the least amount of hurdles as possible to get somebody homeless in an actual home. And a lot of the places here in the Bay Area and other places, they want to make them go through all these hurdles. Like, are you on drugs? What's your mental state? All these other things. And it's like, can't you just get them a home and then figure all that other shit out? I mean, it'd be way easier. Like, people's mental health would probably be way better in an actual home. So if they have mental health issues, do you think they're going to be worse or better in a home or out on the streets? So, and then I'm seeing like where my tax dollars are going for homeless situations, and I see literal things in the Bay Area that make it so homeless people can't even sleep in certain places. Like they'll put spikes up so people can't sleep there. And it's like that's where our tax dollars are going to cause pain on people that need help. And people just think that's totally acceptable. Oh, well, we don't see them there, but that's a person. You know, that's a person. And so, go ahead.
It's also crazy because, like, you know, some of these programs. So, say if somebody is able to get into a program, I mean, not so much a veteran, but maybe like a a person who's recovering from like drug addiction or something like that. If they relapse, they're kicked out of the program, and it's like, yo, like, that's when they need more help. Like they need to kind of they felt like they faltered. They something came up, some stress, it's caused them to lose control, and they end up smoking or getting high or whatever again. It's like these programs are set up for people to fail, and it's not there to just, you know, to keep them on their toes and keep moving. Like it's so sad when you hear about stories about like people who fell off the wagon and they're kicked out of the program and they end up on the street again.
Yeah, and look, I mean, we've all made mistakes. I mean, but for some of us, those mistakes that can be minor for some, could be catastrophic for others.